Jen?
No, but
it's good to be here, and really is exciting. Going in year 4, you know, I think the comfort level of myself, our program, our players are very confident because we've worked extremely hard. I'm very proud of the effort that they've done. You know, we've worked extremely hard this summer. It's been a relatively quiet summer, which is always a nice thing. And our players are putting their head down and going to work. So, you know, all things are in good shape right now, and we're looking forward to the start of the season. This is always the first event that kind of gets you going, gets the juices flowing, and get you started and get you amped up and ready to go to work. So it's great to be here.
Mark, give me an update on Jordan Bonner.
He's set to be here in August. Yep. With the injury that he had, it set him back a bit academically.
Didn't you initially say June though? Was that a?
It's set back academically, you know. So he had to finish up a couple more classes. You know, there was a couple classes that he actually had to drop because he couldn't catch up because of the injury.
Do you have any health update on, you know, until you see him? If he's
until I see him and get a physical and all that, we'll see where he's at when he arrives.
Mark, go back to your very first game here. Afterwards, you moved John Toth from tackle to center. He started every game since then. Did you see him? I know at the time you said there would be some growing pains. You just wanted to throw him out there.
Yeah.
Did you see him having this kind of career then?
We knew he was a special player. We really did right away. It doesn't take much, you know, through all the practice time that we had, even though it was our first game, but you had all that time in the spring and in the summer to work with him. He's a special person. I think most of you know that by now, and you know, the more you're around him, and hopefully today you get to spend some time with him. He's an incredible guy, very quiet, but he does his work. He's really amazing. He's a guy that's an engineering major, and he's constantly around our building. He makes it look easy, you know, because as you know, it's very difficult for these players. They get pulled a lot of directions. They have a lot to do, a lot of responsibilities with their classes and with their workouts, but he seems to do it very easy, and he makes it look easy, and you know he's a special guy when he can do that, when he can handle the academic workload that he has, and also always be in the building working out. And even you know, whether it's he gets his workout, gets his lift, gets his run, but then he may be in there stretching or getting a massage or doing the little things that makes him the special player. He's incredibly intelligent on the field and off, and really handles himself in a great way, and we're excited about him. I love having him.
Could you imagine being an engineering major when you were playing major college football at Iowa? I mean,
no, it's very difficult. It is difficult, and it's funny you asked it because in recruiting it comes up a bunch because it's extremely difficult. But it's great to say, hey, talk with John Toth. You know, he's able to do that. We have to give those guys the latitude in the off season and in the spring to do the coursework that they have to do. But again, he makes it look easy. He does not miss very much, and he's a workout junkie. He's always in there.
He's the slimmest looking 300-pounder you want to see. What is
Yeah.
his body fat?
I'm not sure. You know, we'll get back. They'll do the bod pods here later in the summer, but he's in incredible shape. Like I said, again, going back to the workout, he's always training, eating right, doing the right things. I think our kids are finally understanding the nutrition piece and the education we give them there, and it makes a big difference. And as those guys prepare, you know, as they get older and prepare for a great junior and senior year, and also for an NFL future, you know, they start taking that stuff very serious, and you see the results.
Coach, you're going to be relying a lot on the transfers at linebacker.
Yeah.
How you've got Courtney Love penciled in at middle. How are you going to decide where last year will end up?
Yeah, that has been an issue that I fought quite a bit, to be honest with you, because he's a very good football player. You know, he may be most natural inside, but you know, as you know, we have a need for outside backer as well. So we'll continue to explore with that a bit this summer. You know, when we get in camp and get in two-a-days, you know, and see exactly where to settle in on him, because I want him to have the best chance to be successful for himself and to help this team. But he is versatile. He can play inside. He can play outside. And that is a bit of a work in progress. And it's an area he's been great about saying, I'll play where you need me. So we'll continue to work with that.
At least from the numbers you guys had at the end of spring to the new updated roster, it seems like linebacker across the board is a position where guys got bigger pretty much every guy you have. How important was that to beef up there, not only literally and
big boy,
but also in talent?
Brett.
You hear what he said about you?
What did he say? No, what did he say?
He said one Stoops mad, all of them stay mad, and they get you back.
Well, I got a couple jabs I'm going to throw at him later, but I got to make sure he leaves. You know, so he's one of those guys you can't get in a pissing contest with.
For the skunk.
Yeah. So, but I'm sorry, Kyle, go back to that.
No, just your linebackers across the board look like they all gained some significant weight. How important, beef up,
Yeah.
both literally and figuratively.
Very
just to
important,
improve
very
that position.
important, very important. As you know, with Courtney coming in, everybody talks about the youth and the inexperience, and that's true. But the nice thing is he's played college football. As you know, he wouldn't be here if he wasn't a mature, a strong athlete. He's played a lot of football at Nebraska. He sat out last year. He's been in our system for a while. He's an incredible person and a great leader. So he's exactly what you want in the foundation of your defense, even though he has very little experience here. So I feel good, very good about Courtney. And he's always been a strong guy. He's looked like that since he's been in high school. You know, it is important for the rest of our backers, you know, in particular Jordan and Eli, to really gain some weight, because both of those guys are electric. They can really, really run. They have very good instincts, but they do need to put on some weight. And that's critical. I think the rest of the guys, you know, with inside and outside, De Niro and Denzel and those guys have good weight for their position, but you think you're talking about the core and really about the Will linebacker position in particular. It's where we got to grow a little bit.
Mark, what does Matt Elam have to do to take the next step forward?
Matt has been, and again, you know, I don't want to, we talk about this a lot, and I don't want to put too much pressure on him, but we've worked hard together with a solid plan to help Matt really get in great shape. The kid works out and does everything right in our facility. He can go through every workout, and he's explosive. He runs well. He does a lot of good workouts, but he has to manage his weight to play at a high level. And we've worked hard at that. And I don't want to jinx him right now and tell you any weights or anything like that, but he's looking a lot better. And he's been very serious in approaching that the right way. He is a great kid. He wants to do well. He wants to play at a high level. He's very capable of playing at a high level. And, you know, he has, you know, we all have imperfections. And, you know, he's working extremely hard to get his under control and be able to play the very best he can.
You've used that phrase "in our facility" a couple times. Is it when he goes home that becomes an issue, or is it eating habits, or?
You know, I don't want to get too personal with that, but I'll tell you this: we've worked extremely hard addressing and analyzing everything and getting down to the nuts and bolts and being very truthful in what we can do to help him. And he wants to do right. He has a great heart, and he's a hard worker. He's a hard-working guy, and he's talented. Yeah, but he does have to get, you know, a couple, you know, the eating under control and make sure he's staying at the appropriate weight. And, you know, that's not much different from players as you see throughout the country, whether it be college and certainly in the NFL. So it's not just unique to Matt Elam. It's just something that we're addressing.
Mark, what's going to be your message today downstairs about Kentucky football?
Well, I think the big thing is I'm proud of the culture change, you know, and it's easy to change the climate within a program, and I think it's difficult to change a culture. The culture is very, very deep-rooted, and it has a long history, and I know we're creating a positive winning culture within our program. The results will happen, and I'm confident, I wouldn't say it if I didn't believe it, that our administration, our fans, our players, our coaches, everybody's on the same page to win and to do the things necessary. Things in times get frustrating. We all know that. But the positive winning culture attitude within our program is there. And that starts with the players being diligent and policing themselves and doing the right things away from the facility, as we talked about before, because they always work, they have a good attitude, but they have to buy in and do all the little things necessary to create that winning culture. The other thing is capacity, and capacity can encompass a lot of different areas. In particular, you know, our attention to detail, whether it's in meetings, to be able to study and have that attention to detail for longer periods of time and carry that to the football field, whether it's in the classroom, for them to do the right things and be at tutors on time, be at classes on time, listen to the message, and grow up. It certainly goes to the training sessions, being able to lift more, longer, to be able to run more, longer, to be able to practice longer with perfect practices. You know, I signed my signature, you know, 1,000 times today. It still looks like crap. You know, but it comes down to perfect practice. As we expand our capacity, as we expand our ability to concentrate and to work at a high level for longer periods of time, mentally and physically, we will grow. We will win, and it'll help us in the close games and the close situations. I'm not going to defend, you know, everybody's going to, you know, all y'all are local, you know, A5, what are you going to do? Listen, we are doing all things necessary to win. And there are frustrations, there are setbacks. If anybody thought that you would walk into the Kentucky job 3 years ago and hit a steady climb, you're crazy. There's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. The downs are very difficult. Our margin for error is very small, and we can't lose opportunities. That's my job. I embrace that. I accept that. I don't run from that. And we're going to hit that head on. What more can you do? I know we're doing the right things necessary. But those are the key points. The change in culture, the positive winning culture within our program, and our capacity to do more. You know, to embrace the work, to do it, again, not just put in time and doing that, to do it with fine details and do it with a winning edge. You know, and that's where I know our program's going.
How
Mark,
have you seen
talk about
JoJo
JoJo.
grow up in the last?
I've seen JoJo grow up because I haven't seen the highs and the lows. He's always had the great fiery attitude and always had the good days, but it's about consistency, and it's about not having those setbacks. He's had great adversity. You know, he's had very big highs and he's had very low lows. That comes with life, and I think you know, that's where I've seen him grow and fight through that and grow up and mature. That things are not always going to be perfect.
Does it feel weird to be here at a quarterback competition going into camp?
It does. Yeah, it does. It really does. And I feel very confident about that. I really do. I feel at ease about that position. And, you know, you've heard me say it once, you've heard me 1,000 times. It's not all about that position, but we have to have great play at that position. We have to be consistent, and we have to always progress. And I really like what I've seen with Drew off the field and on.
Have any of those true freshmen, now that they're on campus, injected any maybe newfound enthusiasm into summer workouts?
Yeah, I think it is. It's nice to see us almost at 100% full strength and to have the depth that we need within the program. But those guys are very good players. They've got a great mindset. What I love about them is they're very serious. They want to work. They're always at times. We push those guys. They're always the first one up. You know, tomorrow morning I'll see every one of them at 6 a.m. And they're there every day with a smile on their face and ready to work.
Mark, I know you can't talk about specifics, but when you have a couple decommitments during the summer, how do you deal with that in recruiting going into a pivotal season?
You know, stay the course. You know, you don't think I anticipate some ups and downs in that? It's going to happen. It happens to everybody in college football. You can't panic about it. Stay the course. We'll continue to recruit those guys. We still love any guys that decommit or whatever. Listen, I want our fans to embrace them. They're good people. These are hard decisions for these kids. They get pulled a million different directions. We try to have an approach where you don't put a lot of pressure on guys, but let's face it, there's pressure. There's pressure on these recruits. It's our job to make it very difficult for them to say no to come to Kentucky. I don't think anybody made these decisions very lightly. They you know, still have a great respect and feeling for Kentucky, and you know, we still love anybody that we're recruiting. We believe in, and whether that's a decommit or anybody else out there that we're recruiting, we want to recruit the very best of Kentucky, and you know, but no one player, no one coach, no one person is going to affect the outcome of this program and where we go. Certain positions are very important, you know, and you know, certain skill positions are very important, and certain defensive linemen are very important. Those are guys that you know, you really have to battle for and work for, and to get the right ones. That's what makes this league what it makes. You know what it is. Certainly, we're good top to bottom, and the top teams are good across the board. It's good, you know, obviously, but you have to have great quarterback play in general, and you have to be very good up front.
Where are you most concerned about depth? Where do you think are the biggest question marks?
Well, I think we need to continue to build depth at offensive tackle. I think our offensive line, we returned 4 starters. I think we're getting very good depth up front in the interior. I think we need to develop depth at tackle. I feel good about the depth in the skill positions on offense. I really, in a year from now, the nice thing is that for about 2 years here, we have a good run of a lot of experience. After that second year, we'll lose a big group of some skill guys. In particular on the offensive side of the ball. So we got to make sure we manage that and keep that depth there. Defensively, always a battle with defensive line. You know, We've had some inexperience at outside backer. I feel like we have some great young guys that'll grow into that role. And I feel really good about the depth of our secondary. You know, I feel like we have man, you want to talk about an enormous difference from when because I'm a DB guy by nature, you know that, my whole career, and I know what I'm looking at when I look at defensive backs. And what I saw when I walked in here and what I see now is about a drastic change. So I feel good about those guys. I feel like we have some superstars in the making at that position, and they're relatively young, which is nice.
Folks, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.